We are live. Today is the day two preview of the third test match. And what an exciting test match it's going out to be because the test match is currently at a balance 251 for 4.
Yes.
And the Indian team has taken the new ball last night. So the new ball's only 3 overs old. And here we are. Welcome, chat. We are finally live. We've been late
What's up?
yesterday.
Yeah, we've hit a hat trick of being late, something that's new on the channel.
Yeah.
But for people who've been around for a while, it's not that new.
That's true. Hi, Srinath. Hi. Hey, oh, same Srinath. Hi, Orange Juice. Hi, Adish. Hi, Vignesh, Umang, Shrikant. I love how you guys already get into a chat and have a conversation. We always appreciate that you guys talking amongst yourself, which is exactly what we want to do. Hi, my brain left the chat.
Vignesh, we know we're late. Apologies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just all over the place last couple of days.
So, hi, Rishit. It's always good to see you. We always appreciate it. If you guys are joining in for the first time, hit the like button. We will go live every day of the test
Yeah.
match pre and post, but it'll also push this live to a lot more people. Praatibh was asking before this live started how much does it cost,
How much does it cost? Drop a like.
and I called him out on his arrogance.
It costs rupees.
And yeah, we will have multiple segments. We will talk about what the Indian team needs to do. We will talk about how what things to watch out for, players to watch out for. We have a technical tidbit. We also have few stats that we will go over. Hope you all are doing well with the health, Sheena. Thanks, man. Appreciate that a lot. We are doing the same,
Yeah.
but it'll be okay.
Gotten a little better.
Yeah.
At least I was, and then I started sneezing just before the live.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into things. Let's get into the pitch and we'll talk about how the pitch might play out.
Cool. So, very interesting Lord's pitch. It was slightly on the slower side as we saw yesterday. Overhead conditions are brilliant for batting. It's just going to be sunny throughout. The pitch is going to get absolutely baked as the day progresses. Now, something that'll be interesting to see is how India takes the new ball, something we will get into, but that will give us a good idea of the pitch's behavior because the second new ball is about 3 overs old. So, if India is to get anything out of the pitch, at least in terms of seam movement and a little bit of swing, that is something that will happen in that morning session. Now, apart from that, we did see turn yesterday, so it will be interesting once again to see if the pitch continues to turn or was it just something that was happening yesterday and the pitch is just settling down now. So, today is going to be yet another good day for the batters. In fact, I might even go as far as saying that this possibly could be the best day to bat in. And so, England will want to make the most of this, but that's basically on the pitch and the forecast itself. All right, Ashwin's looking up something.
Yeah, I'm looking up a stat.
Hmm.
It's an interesting stat which we will get into. I mean, I can say the stat now. Joe Root should be relieved that nobody in Test history has failed to score a century, having been not out overnight on a 9. If anything, the fact that we're starting off with the new ball, hopefully, I'm gonna say it's Jasprit Bumrah. Right, Bumrah will probably start off today with Akash Deep. I saw a comment that said, no offense to Jasprit Bumrah, but he should be the first change bowler. I think that should be the case. I think Siraj should be taking the new ball, but I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just assume that the Indian team are going to do what they did last night, and that's have Akashdeep and Bumrah continuing with the new ball. They took the new ball yesterday. It's only 3 overs old. So it's not the worst. The lacquer may not have come off yet, which means we might not see a lot of swing first up. Also, something to take note of is the batters. The England team would have the heavy roller on, so it will take some time for the pitch to get unsettled once again. So give it about 30 minutes for things to happen. If it doesn't in the first 30 minutes, that is. Of course, so Bumrah, Akashdeep take the new ball. Right, so we do know that Joe Root and Ben Stokes were settled last night, but Joe Root starting off yesterday looked very fidgety and so did Ben Stokes. So it will be really important to not have those deep fielders just to start off with, to have a little bit of pressure, especially because Root is batting on 99 and Ben Stokes again will take his time to settle in. It's very important for Bumrah and Akashdeep to not only be spot on, but the Indian captain to make sure you're setting attacking fields. I thought for the most part yesterday we were quite all right. There were a few criticisms when there were deep fielders. I thought that is what you would do with this English lineup, and I thought that was completely fine, even when they weren't taking the attack forward. But I think today, if we were to take a couple of wickets in the first 30 minutes, we can afford to bring the fielders in. It's not the biggest of scorecards, it's just 250 odd. Right. In the first 30 minutes, you look to take a wicket, but if you don't, that's absolutely fine. What happens is in the first session, and that's first 2 hours, you would want to be 2 wickets up. And even if you're not 2 wickets up, you would want to get Joe Root out. And as much as you would want Joe Root out, the last time Ben Stokes scored 100 in the test format, it was in Lords. So it's very easy for me to say 2 wickets, but at least 1 wicket before lunch will be a good positive. I will take only 1 wicket before lunch, but more than anything, in terms of strategies, right? So we will see Akash Deep and Jasprit Bumrah with the new ball. We'll probably see Siraj first change, hopefully. I mean, I'd like to see Siraj with the new ball anyway. I keep talking about that. I wouldn't be surprised if NKR is brought in again, like yesterday when he got those 2 wickets. But what will be crucial to see is when Shubman Gill introduces the spinners, because we saw a lot of turn and a lot of purchase for the spinners on this pitch. So, and Jadeja does really well with the new ball when the pitch is turning. So I won't be surprised when NKR is introduced, Jadeja is introduced with him. What I will be surprised is the fact that until lunch, if no spinners are introduced, I will say that's poor captaincy, especially when there have been no wickets fallen. So if you're struggling to take wickets and until lunch we don't see a spinner, that might be a little poor side of the captaincy from Shubman Gill. But yeah, that's something to think about until lunch. Let's talk about Finn to win, and that's things to do.
What, yeah, needs to do, players to watch out
Oh,
for.
players to watch.
Yeah. Cool. So from an Indian perspective, based on how yesterday went, obviously people are going to have their eye out for Nitish Kumar Reddy. Something that Ashwin also spoke about is whether or not he will be introduced before lunch today, especially if India are not able to pick up a wicket. But apart from the fast bowlers and the obvious people, I think it is important that we watch out for the spinners. Both Ravindra Jadeja as well as Washington Sundar, I think there is enough in the pitch already for them to be bowling, especially they could even possibly take that second new ball at some point, probably 10th or 15th over in. So, from an Indian perspective, we will have to watch out for these people. And something else to keep an eye out for is if Rishabh Pant takes the field, because India still have a long way to go when it comes to keeping. Supposedly his injury isn't that serious. It's just his nail being chipped off or something along those lines. So does Rishabh Pant come back and keep, or does Dhruv Jurel keep? My personal take is that Dhruv Jurel is probably better off keeping right now. And Rishabh Pant, if he can, he just possibly rest it out, come into bat. But I know that there'll be something around the rules that possibly won't allow that so easily. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, mostly I think apart from the obvious bowlers, it'll be very interesting to see how the spinners go, if there is any purchase for them like yesterday, or if it's even better for them.
All right, that let's talk about what's lit in Brit. That's things to watch out for.
Yeah,
And of course, the simplest of answers to start off would be conditions, and then it would be overcast. Oh, there won't be overcast.
there won't be overcast conditions.
Shining and bright, 30 degrees at Lords. But yeah, the other things to watch out for is how the England batters come out to play. I mean,
Yeah,
yesterday they were very subdued. They were taking their time. We have few interesting stats about it with Joe Root
that's true.
and Ben Stokes taking their time. I mean, the England lineup taking their time. The wicket of Harry Brooks seemed to be crucial in that sense. But yeah, it will be important to see how the England batters come out to bat in the first 30 or 1 hour. If they don't lose a wicket, does their approach change? And if they do lose a wicket, how are they going to go about it? Yeah, Jamie Smith coming out next. He is an attacking player. We've seen him attack throughout the Test match. So Test
And
series.
yeah, and the thing is, like yesterday, it was important because once England chose to bat, they had to ensure that they
Yeah.
make it worth it and to see out that first day, which is why they even possibly batted in that fashion to not lose any more wickets and to also get some runs on the board. But today will be interesting because very likely it is going to be a better batting day. So that's one thing. The other thing is you have two set batters.
True.
Obviously, if they come out in the morning, they have to get set once again. But once that's done, do they go hell for leather? Because at the point at which Stokes and Root will probably be set today after the first hour or after lunch, whatever that is, England at that point will be 300, 325 odd minimum. And if those two are still batting, then I think Jamie Smith, when he comes in, is just going to explode.
Yeah, that's true.
So India has to be careful because this game can go sideways very, very fast. If England don't lose a wicket, India just and England just
Yeah.
takes off. That's like, if I hope England doesn't bat the entire day. I think that would
Yeah,
be
that would be the
concerning.
worst nightmare for the Indian team
Yeah.
right now. Let's go to wow. Let's go to
Oh damn.
wait, where am I? All right, let's go to quick word in Brit, and those are the stats.
Awesome. So we don't have too many stats today, but something to look out for is Joe Root has only been dismissed thrice,
In fact, no batter, like I said, has been dismissed overnight on 99. So
which is crazy. I hope Joe Root becomes the first because yeah, that would be nice to get rid of Joe Root. Or okay, he can get a century and then he should
yeah, get out on
be
a
dismissed.
100. It's
Yeah.
been a while since he's
Yeah. And for Ben Stokes also, the story is the same. The last time he got a century, in fact, was at Lords itself against Australia, albeit in a losing cause. And so if you can get Stokes out today, that'll be great. He's taken a lot of time. He's on 39 of 100 plus deliveries. So definitely he's taken his time. He'll have to come in once again, do the same thing. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now the last one, and this is something we should have done yesterday, but yeah, haven't won a toss in international cricket since 31st Jan 2025, which I think is now their 13th straight toss lost. I think it's time to consult someone.
That's true. It's not even the captain that's the toss in itself. Now let's get into the technical bit and let's talk about arm variation because I think this is a very interesting thing to talk about. We saw Washington do this yesterday. Jadeja does this quite often. Right, so when a spinner comes on, this is predominantly a spinner thing. When a spinner comes on, you can either bowl two ways. So Jadeja, even though a lot of people think he has only one variation, that's the off spin, which is true in terms of which way he turns the ball, it's only one way. But there are a couple of things that he does, and that's playing with his angle of the arm. So one of the thing that he does is he bowls very high arm. That is when you see his arm next to his head, and the other would be round arm. That is when you have his arm away from his head and have a more roundish delivery to the ball. Now, what this basically does is when it's a high arm delivery, the trajectory is known for the batter, but he gives it a lot more air. So there's more air to the ball. He flies the ball. The ball comes straight in line and then spins away or goes straighter. And as a batter, it is still difficult because there's fly, there's dip. Washington Sundar gets dip. So nothing is easier than the other. But something that is a lot more, I would say, a little more difficult is when Jadeja, for example, bowls the round arm. So as a right hand batter, when a left hand bowler bowls it round arm, you would automatically assume that the ball is coming into you. Except what Jadeja does extremely well, the wickets of Steve Smith, the wickets of Manas when he gets them out bowled, this is where the batter gets deceived because when Jadeja bowls the round arm, the batter thinks that the ball is going to come into you, so you play inside the line of the ball. But on pitches like this, especially in Lords where the ball is turning, the ball turns because the batter is playing inside the line of the ball. Even when the ball turns, you're missing the ball completely, and you either get an edge or mostly you get a bold. And that is something Jadeja does really well. Akshar Patel does this extremely well. Something I was very impressed with Washington Sundar yesterday is the fact that he was doing this. There were a couple of similar kind of not dismissals, but deliveries where Stokes got dismissed in the second test match from Sundar yesterday. And there were a couple of shouts, LBW shouts, wherein Washington Sundar was bowling round down. And that is essentially what happens. As a batter, you think that the ball's coming into you as a left-handed batter that Ben Stokes is. But because Washington Sundar is also turning the ball away, the ball turns away. Stokes plays inside the line of the ball and then misses the ball. And I think that's extremely clever with dip, flight, with drift and then playing with the angles, not just angle of the crease, but angle of your arm. There's so many things that a spinner can do. All right, so that's the technical tidbit. Let's address the chat.
Chat. Before we address the chat, can we have some likes on the stream? It has not been pushed out to a lot of people, which is a little interesting. Only 10 likes. Can we
We
get this number
always
up?
we always see a dip in viewers on the weekends, which is quite surprising because on a
Today's
weekday afternoon,
is Friday.
oh
I
yeah,
think
today's
everyone's
Friday.
just chilling
So
in corporate.
either that or a YouTube channel is dying, which either or wouldn't be surprising.
Oh, which gets us to something before we get into addressing chat. That
Oh, the
hype feature.
hypes.
So if y'all would have got the recent update, you can basically hype a video, which is like a like, except it's limited, so it has greater value supposedly. And I think one of our videos did pick up because it got some hype. So whoever was hyping, thank you.
I would appreciate more
And yeah,
hypes.
we'd love if you could hype our Tuesday videos or our Friday videos. Maybe we'll just push it out to more people. So yeah.
All right. My brain left the chat. I would agree. All right. It's a whole conversation. Very frustrating to see Sundar and Jaddu bowl always above 90 kilometers per hour. Like, bros, bowl 80, 85, slow pitch. Also, what's wrong with Kuldeep Jurel to stay on the bench? What's wrong with Kuldeep Jurel? Right. So, couple of questions. What do you think about Sundar and Jadeja always bowling it up quick?
Yeah, I think this is something that both you and I have been complaining about as well. Because even in the pitches where there's very little for spinners, whenever Jaddu slowed it up, he has got purchase.
Yeah.
We've seen Shoaib Bashir do that brilliantly, which is why my respect, at least for him, has gone up a little bit. Is because he's varying his pace. He's not just balling those flatter trajectory deliveries. And you're spot on. Like 80 to 85 is such a good variation delivery. because not only are you going to just entice the batter into possibly playing a shot, you are possibly going to flight it more because it is a slower delivery.
True.
You are definitely going to get more purchase from the pitch.
True.
So it's something that surprisingly these two have not done enough of.
Especially Jadeja,
Yeah.
with the kind of experience that he has.
Yeah, and especially to right hand batters. I think yesterday's spell was still his best two right handers this entire
Oh yeah, that's
series.
true.
So
100%
yeah.
agreed. Arun, I'm hyping and sharing videos to all of your videos to all
Oh,
of my friends. You also have a few Aussie fans here in Melbourne. Arun, hey,
hey, thanks, man.
appreciate that a lot, dude. Punch cough is permanent. You know something I thought as I heard someone say that in the chat. Like people, Jurel is a better wicket keeper. There's no questions asked. But I think Pant, the energizer on the field,
Exactly.
might just be missed.
Yeah.
He talk like there's constant chat to the people around, like his teammates, the slips. He reminds people to like wake up, to do
Yeah.
this, to do that. He sets fields. He talks to Shubman Gill. He talks to KL Rahul. I think that's one aspect that will be missed. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would always like Rishabh Pant to be back. He's part of the playing 11. I wouldn't mind Dhruv Jurel taking the gloves, but Rishabh Pant just brings in that little bit of that extra energy into the squad. Boys, drop the membership only, then everyone will like the stream.
Shrikant, then how will we reach out to new people?
Yeah. Last second chance for Karun. We'll find out. In my opinion, Rohit should groom Gill. Oh yeah, so there's this whole. Oh
Oh,
right,
yeah.
so there was this report that how Shubman Gill might be the captain for the next ODI series. It's only a report. Nothing's confirmed. And I think that's the chat that's going on. He's the captain we deserve, Pant. Oh,
Yeah, Pant has actually been brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah, you can hear him on stump mic, very vocal. And to be honest, I think he's been setting the fields for a bit.
yeah.
It's not just a Gill job. So, yeah, kudos.
Shrika, I don't think it's just you that's the like that says the volume's low. It's just us. It's our energy
Yeah.
because of how sick we are. So we usually shout, except we're not able to do that because of how sick we are. There was a funny moment when Jaddu called KL before bowling a delivery. Yeah, that's true. So it's a lot of there are a lot of people in the team, in the like the leadership group. It's not just Shubman Gill, of course, he's the captain, takes the last call, and if anything happens, either he gets the credit or needs to take accountability.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there is Rishabh Pant, the scale Rahul. It's always good to see how many runs are enough on this pitch.
That's a good question. The way it's shaping up, I think day 4 and 5 chasing is going to be a lot tougher than the last two pitches. Having said that, it is a good batting pitch. So my fear of why day 4 and 5 might be tougher to bat is because we saw turn yesterday itself.
Yeah, that's true.
And that means that the pitch already has something with the kind of weather there is. There's no overcast conditions also. It is going to start to crack open by day 4 and 5.
Yep.
So if England manage to bat even up till tea or just after tea today, India have a lot on their hands, because if England get anything close to 500, then India has to bat out of their skins to possibly save this test.
Yeah, I mean, there is a pitch report that says there are a few foot marks.
Yeah,
Despite that, it feels a lovely pitch to bat on.
they should be the best batting day.
Even he believes the spinners can have an impact later in the game, but not at the start. Guys, when is the next Jared collab? We'll get in touch. We'll find out.
Let's see.
We've had no time because of how sick we've. All right. This is a very interesting question. I'll pick this up even though you guys might have a whole array of conversation and fight amongst yourselves. Why KL Rahul didn't face the outside of some issue like Virat, even though they're all natural drivers of well,
Oh, there are so many aspects to this.
yeah,
I think on a technical front, at least what's changed, actually not even changed, has always been the case with KL, is that he's a lot more aware of his off stump.
he's a better lever of the ball.
He's a better lever of the ball. He's willing to leave the ball.
Yeah,
He's not letting the bowler play on his ego, which I think it also has a lot to do with the personalities of the batters.
true.
Kohli likes to impose himself on the game, whereas Kale is very happy to just play within himself, take his time, grind it out. And this is something we've also covered as a technical tidbit, where even when Kale's leaving the ball, he knows where his off stump is.
True.
Even his bat, you'll see him not leaving the ball in the traditional sense. You'll see him just put his bat right in front of the line of off stump. So even in the case where the ball jags back in or something of that side, KL is able to still play it out. So that's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, to put it simply, temperament is the basic thing.
Yeah,
Vignesh, Virat wants to assert his dominance. Yeah, exactly
exactly.
that. It's the style of play that's different. I mean, you would see Steve Smith go at it. You would also see Steve Smith being able to leave the ball. And that's what makes you a great test player. That's able to switch. And that is something Virat wasn't able to do in the later half. Not half, but later part of
But yeah,
half would have been a bit. Yeah, what score will India be happy seeing basketballers score in the first innings? I think anything less than 400, they'll be happy.
yeah, they'll take that.
Happy to support you guys. Great cricket analysis. It makes me look at the game in a different way. And Naman Arora,
Thank you
appreciate that
so
a lot.
much.
Hey guys, who's your favorite test series? Oh, what is your favorite test series? The BGT? Did I get it?
Maybe because of the who.
That's
He'll
fine,
come
dude.
back. He'll come back. Yeah.
VK intercepts the ball faster compared to KL Rahul. VK is out of the crease compared to KL Rahul, who tends to be
Yeah.
inside. I don't completely agree with that. I think yeah, the interception bit, yeah, KL
Yeah.
Rahul plays the ball a lot
A
more
lot
later.
late. Yeah.
But that's again to do with the style. I don't think that's what makes you more successful or less successful in England, maybe, but in Australia, that's fine. You're allowed to meet the ball a little more earlier because the ball doesn't move much. It's mostly to do with temperament, if any. But yeah, you are right when you say KL Rahul does intercept the ball a lot later. Hey guys, right. Which is your favorite test series, the Border Gavaskar Trophy or the England series?
Ooh. I feel like the BGT. So here's the thing, right? When until we had not won Australia, it used to be a series to look forward to, especially under Kohli's captaincy, because we, at least I felt that we had a chance of. So that the 18-19 and even the next series, the 2021, was beautiful to watch. Having said that, England has also been a lot of fun, but I think I'll incline towards BGT.
I like them both. Uh, what do you think about Jurel and Pant's keeping comparison? I feel Jurel is a little better. Nandakishore, technically, yeah, Jurel is a better wicket keeper, but that doesn't mean Pant's not as good. Just technique wise, that way Sachin's the best batter because technically he's very sound, except Steve Smith also technically. See, that's the thing. So orthodox technique wise, Jurel is wonders, right? Because he ticks most of the boxes. Pant does not because he's not all that technically sound, but doesn't mean he's not effective because he finds his own ways to be effective. But I also feel like Jurel is able to cover more ground. So that's also because that Rishabh Pant done his injury and the accident that he had. But yeah, I think
Then dodgy knee.
Jurel does cover more ground.
But from just a technical perspective, can you just cover for people why Jurel might be better as compared to Pant, at least against spin?
All right, so I mean, I'll talk about what Dinesh Karthik talked about yesterday with the catch that Jurel caught
Mm.
off Ollie Pope.
Yeah.
It's something that's very, very good to see with Dhruv Jurel. So the difference between Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant, the wicket keeper, at least in slips, is the fact that it's the same as batting. Your head position as a wicket keeper is very, very important, especially to a spinner. So when the spinner is bowling, you need to take your head towards where the ball is going. And something Pant struggles against is to have his head position there. So when Dhruv Jurel caught that catch, he was right next to the ball. He was going towards the ball, and his weight was going towards the ball. What Pant would usually do, he's very hand-eye coordinated wicket keeper, which is a very rare thing to see. So if Rishabh Pant, I'm assuming, was going towards the ball yesterday, his feet wouldn't move as much as Dhruv Jurel. So when you saw Dhruv Jurel's right feet move towards the line of the ball, that is also why it allowed him to catch the ball, even though there was a big deflection. And that
Yeah.
is why it's a good catch, not because the catch itself was good, because there's no way Dhruv Jurel on purpose caught the ball. It's all reflexes. But the catch was good because he was in a position to be able to catch that ball. Pant, I'm not saying would have dropped it or not caught it. He would have made it a little more complicated because he doesn't usually take his right foot towards the line of the ball. He doesn't move towards the line of the ball where the ball is going. He would usually just put his hand out there. I'm sure he would have caught it. I'm not disregarding Rishabh Pant, the wicket keeper. I'm just saying that the reason Dhruv Jurel was more effective with that catch yesterday is because he usually goes towards the line of the ball, and yeah, that's the difference. Good lord.
We've had such interesting stuff in chat with Joe Root calling us the Pakistan team in shambles and whatnot. Okay, let's keep it civil, lads.
Aren't you? Oh, Joe Root's back. Oh, damn. Joe Root scored 100 and now he's back on our chat.
Not scored.
Oh, yeah, that's very right. For a change, I find your streams informative and chill, so keep up the good work, bros. At least for this series in terms of pre and post match shows. Oh, thanks,
Thank
Viking.
you.
Appreciate that. It's been a while since you've been here, if I'm not
Uh,
wrong. Right. I don't understand how that happens because the first thing they teach you is to move towards the ball. And again, that is true. But like the first thing you also teach a batter is be a top-handed batter. But then you see Rishabh Pant, you see Ben Duckett, you see MS Dhoni. It's your style. I mean, the first thing you see teach a fast bowler is to have a normal run up, but then you see Jasprit Bumrah. So it's
Yeah.
okay. Like you're allowed to have different techniques. It's just how you get suited to that technique. Jurel versus Dhoni, who's a better keeper.
Whoa.
To a fast bowler, Dhruv Jurel by far. To a spinner, I'll honestly have to. We'll have to sit and see. I would say stumping wise. I mean, I haven't really seen Dhruv Jurel stump a lot. Stumping wise, I would still say Dhoni because he is
Lightning
exceptional.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, but like technique wise, yeah, we'll have to say. Boys, what is the most interesting cricket league aside from the IPL?
Whoa. Do you mean it in terms of just pure entertainment value, or do you mean it in terms of the quality of cricket? Because there's a lot of leagues, like there's the Big Bash, that's also older than a lot of the other leagues. That's one that kind of does well. Yeah.
All right, so there's this Joe Root home track bully going on because, to be fair, he's not a home track bully. He has scored tons of runs in India.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he hasn't scored in Australia, and that is something he'll possibly do this December when they go down to play the Ashes. But yeah, he has scored. Right, obviously, quality is what I'm said. Watching
Damn.
KL Rahul
Okay.
bat is just out of the world experience these days. Yeah, that's true. KL Rahul, do you think he's improved a lot more since 2021, though? Or has things stayed the same?
He technically might be slightly different, but above and beyond, I think it's the temperament. There's also this thing where Abhishek Nair worked with KL
Yeah,
for a
true.
long time, and I feel like that now is reaping the rewards. Yeah, it's mostly a mental space thing with KL because we know he's always had the potential and the talent. Yeah, SC20 is also pretty good.
I was going to say something.
MLC is entertaining, yes, but if four teams are qualifying out of six teams that play, very interesting.
Yeah, we follow in terms of scores. Yeah, SAT20 is actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
Like
SA is.
he averages more than your Kohli in Australia. Oh,
Oh, Joe Root.
he is. Joe Root would say I.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. What
Okay,
went wrong with?
probably.
All right, yeah. So Abhishek Nair is what I wanted to touch upon. It's
Right.
very interesting how
Oh, yeah.
guys chat. I feel like you need to hear this out. A lot of cricketers in this team, Shubman Gill included, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, and a lot of other batters. Every time they're giving an interview, they will talk about how Abhishek Nair has helped them become a better batter. And the only person who's fired from their role in the Indian team management is Abhishek Nair after the Australia series,
Yeah,
which is quite problematic if you think about it.
just food for thought. I mean,
KL Rahul has a lean patch of runs for a few matches after he scores 100.
we've done an entire video on this, so you're not wrong. Rahane, in fact, also had a very similar situation. This is why Rahane isn't in the squad. I think with KL, at this point, it's just that he is in good form, and I'm stuck.
I mean, it's a good time to get stuck because this is probably when we will leave because it's 3:21
Yeah.
and it's about time we settle in to watch the test match. Thank you guys so much for coming on a pre-match and supporting us and liking us and having a chat by yourself. And am I the only one who thinks Karuna's stance is so amateurish? It looks like he might fail at any moment. It might not affect the outcome, but it isn't as pleasing to watch as others. I mean, I feel like he's a lot more bottom-handed than he should be. A lot of his drives are push drives; they're not drives as such, which is
Yeah.
something Sunil Gavaskar also brought up in the comms, I think, last.
His bat angle is very rarely going downwards. It's
Yeah.
always in the air.
Yeah, that's true. So that is something to watch out for. That is if India gets to bat. I think India will probably bat today.
Let's hope.
We'll just
Yeah.
find out when. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you post match at 11:30, probably, hopefully this time on time, and we're
Yeah.
all good and settled. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. We do have a video coming out today on Kuldeep Yadav and why he should be India's number one spinner, no doubt. So support that video. I know it's around the test match, and we don't get
Hype
a
it
lot
up.
of
Yeah.
we don't get a lot of views during the test match. So yeah,
Yeah.
like Praatibh said, hype it up and everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.